Writing is glamorous, and other misconceptions. Hello and welcome back to my writing journey. I'm Byerrum, sharing with you tidbits every week about the writing life, and today I want to talk about some of the misconceptions and myths about writers, or simply things that other people believe. And perhaps my favorite is writing is glamorous. It is not. It's a lot of hard work and labor and working at night and research, staying up late and having to get up early to go to your day job. I do love to think that it's glamorous. I had a boss once who told me that I shouldn't talk to other people about my glamorous life. Well, this really told me something about her. She thought I had a glamorous life. I was up at night writing and having to get up early to go to work the next day. But you can't stop people from thinking it's glamorous, and why should you? There are some moments that are glamorous, that have glamour, that make you feel wonderful, and they included an event that I will never forget. It was a reception at the Virginia Festival of the Book, held in Charlottesville, and this event was held at the president of the university's house, which was designed by Stanford White. It was gracious and elegant, and we walked in at twilight, just going up in this beautiful blue twilight into the house where there were caterers and there were drinks and a buffet. It was everything I'd always seen in the movies, everything I believed that writing was about. Actually, the rewards of writing, in addition to all my readers who I adore. But this was another reward. However, it was only a couple times, and then the university changed and moved the event to just another college room, and it was never the same for me again. The glamour was gone, but the memory lives on. Writing is hard. People might be glamorous. If you want to write on a rhinestone-encrusted computer or wear a tiara when you type, I don't care. I will say the one thing that is not glamorous is writing in pajamas. And I would never write in my pajamas. I don't have pajamas. Another fallacy is that writing is easy. People think that because you're a writer, it's easy for you. Well, it may be slightly easier, but that probably means it's more tortuous. If you have a knack and a talent for writing, it doesn't necessarily go smoothly. You work very hard at it because you love it. You still have to write and rewrite and perfect and polish your prose. You have to make sure that your story makes sense. Even if you write fiction, you have to make sure that your writing makes sense. Some writers obsess over every word and others do not, but it is not easy. This is a good one. Writers are rich. I once met a woman, she just looked at me, she goes, "You're a writer, you must be rich." And I was very taken aback. Let's get this straight. Doctors are rich, lawyers are rich, bankers are rich, stockbrokers are rich, plumbers are rich. Writers, by and large, are not rich, unless you're talking about James Patterson, but he is a corporation unto himself because life is not fair. Some people believe that writing is just typing. Duh. Okay, it's not. Writing is hard. If you don't think it's hard, just sit down and start writing. Do those words flow? Does the idea come? Do you think, if this is great, if everything in your head, it just evaporates immediately. It's gone. You know you had that in the middle of the night. You know that character was great. Now things feel flat and dull. So it's up to you to write and continue. And believe me, thinking that writing is easy does not take into consideration the crying, or the writer's block, or the necessity of a chocolate run to get going again, or having to talk to a friend who talks you off the cliff of bad sentences and imperfect plot lines, or having to have an emergency coffee on hand at all times. So, writing is not easy. And this goes hand in hand with people who believe that writers just have a completely easy time of it. These are the people who are always trying to figure out how many hours a day you write. They are obsessed with the question, but how many hours, how many hours, how many hours? And they can't fathom it. They can't fathom how you do it. They secretly think we are all lazy, but the truth is we are writing all the time. We are writing in the tub, we're writing on a walk, we're writing when we are looking at television. We are always thinking. Your character's always knocking at your brain. So it is not how many hours a day you input into a computer. It is all the time if you're a writer, because it is a love affair and sometimes it doesn't go very well. There's another thought that writing is linear. Writers start with chapter 1, page 1, word 1, and then they go straight through until the end. This is not the way it is for many, many writers. For me, I try to write in a forward direction. I know where my story is going, but then I might have an idea. I might need to throw out the first chapter. I might know that this book starts in a different place that will really grab attention, much better than how I started it in the first place. So you stop and you attend to that need, or I do. I think that also I tend to set things in motion. I set things up, and at some point, I have written enough that I immediately know what my climax is. So I stop, I write the climax, I get excited, I have the characters go at each other, and it all culminates in a wonderful conclusion. Then I go back to where I stopped, so I write forward to that climax, and then I write the end. But that's me. Everybody has a different process. But don't just think that it's page 1, chapter 1, line 1. It's not necessarily like that. And then another one of my favorites is, writers just don't have enough ideas. They need yours. You have the best idea in the world, but that writer should write it. And that idea is going to make millions. And you know what I say and all the other writers say? That's great. If you have a book idea and it's going to make you millions, you write that book. And if you can't feel it yourself, hire a ghostwriter to do it. You should share the wealth. And if you do make millions, and if you do make good on that, I will be the first to say congratulations. As for writers, we have tons of writing ideas in the back of our brains. They multiply like bunnies, and they constantly attack us with something else, especially when we're working on a hard part. Our brains go, but wait till you get to this idea. This is better. They are just traps and tricks, but don't think we don't have enough ideas. So consider the writer. Thanks. That's all I have for now, and I'll see you next week. Bye.